Hello and welcome back to another edition of Chill with Kaiju Kim. I'm Kaiju Kim. Hope you're all doing well on this lovely afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. Let's get right into the show tonight. Our guest for tonight has had his work featured on the cover of Kaiju Ramen Magazine issue 4 and has an entire catalog of really awesome looking, very unique photography. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Monaghan, aka Mike Monsters.
Thank you. That was a really sweet intro. I'm not used to having intros, so I'm just like, oh, thanks.
Yay.
Thank you.
I'm like, oh, I'm so flattered. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm over here blushing because everybody's talking all sweet about me already. Jeez.
How are you tonight, Mike?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for coming on to my show.
Thanks for having me. I was happy to see that you needed some help, and I'm happy to be here to be that help. And like I said, I'm not used to doing these video things, and so I'm trying to do them. So.
All right. Well, like I told you before we started, it's not a true episode of Chill with Kaiju Kim without awkward silences and awkwardness in general. So
Yeah.
if anything happens, it's all good.
How can you not be a kaiju fan without being a little awkward? I mean, it's in our blood.
That's true. That's true. Very true indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see who we have in the chat tonight. We got Leo Yokutan. How's it going? And we got Valerie, who is 19 now. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And Godzilla Train 1090. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. All right, Mike. Before we get rolling into our main conversation, I like to kick off the conversation with 3 main questions. How did you get into Godzilla? What's your favorite Godzilla film? And what is your favorite non-Godzilla kaiju film?
Okay, so I've been told separate things, but my first memory of seeing a Godzilla movie was seeing Godzilla versus Biollante, which answers the other question, which is my favorite film of the Godzilla films. But I remember very distinctly sitting on my dad's lap and seeing the opening scene with which would have been 84 or 85, Godzilla walking through the streets, because those were the opening montages of that movie, and just probably jaw dropped to the floor as a toddler, like in diapers on my dad's lap, just like, oh my God, this is amazing, because I love dinosaurs, and that was like the biggest thing in my life was dinosaurs. So that was what I remember being my first Godzilla movie, but my dad also claims that it was Megalon, which would make a lot of sense because they were right around the same time for my age of being born at 88. And so those movies, and Megalon was probably more popular back then because that was played a lot. And then in Godzilla 89 had just, or Biollante had just come out in 89 and just come overseas just shortly after that, I think. So I remember that, but who knows? Maybe I had seen it, King Kong versus Godzilla first, and that, because I know I had that Godzilla movie also. So it could have been either of those 3. And then my favorite non-Godzilla movie, it switches between probably 3. I'm not going to say more than 3 because I could ramble. Jaws, Jurassic Park, or Alien. And those 3 are my heavy hitters. They cycle through all 3 of them, but it's probably Alien if I had to really pick. It's because that's my other big favorite next to Godzilla, is also Alien and Predator. So those are my 3 heavy hitters: is Godzilla, Alien, and Predator. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about your work as a photographer. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what got you into photography in general?
Yeah. I've always been in the arts, and I used to draw a lot, but I always used to grow up watching Godzilla movies and other movies, namely the ones that I just listed off. But eventually I took those drawing skills into a graphic design degree in college, And that then led me to the graphic design degree. Had like more than just graphic design. It had Photoshop, video, photography, and other things. And that photography class, I also happened to be put into the camera department at the Best Buy I was working at the time when I was 16 years old. This is like 2005 or six. And I basically just started really playing with cameras back then. Bought my first camera, started really just playing with them at that point at my house. And I didn't know a lot of people back then, so I'm now a portrait photographer and I shoot fashion and models a lot of the time. But back then, I didn't have a lot of friends that I worked with that I didn't feel comfortable taking pictures of people really too. So I took pictures of my toys, and that's what got me to experiment with lighting, composition, and just like the general rules of art. But I didn't actually know I was following those. I was just taking my toys out in the yard or in the garage with the lighting when the sun was hitting just right and playing, and then not realizing I was developing these skills that I now still use today. And then after that, I actually went to school for photography after graduating from graphic design, and then dropped out of school for that because my photography teachers were offering me jobs to work with them at the companies. Like I worked at Nordstrom for a while as one of their website photographers. And then it just kept on going from there. And that's what led me down to moving to LA eventually, where I am now. I lived in Seattle before, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, so that's kind of what became my career too, because I've always just been a photographer, but I've always fundamentally gone back to taking pictures of toys for fun, but actually also doing it to practice and develop my skills and make new things and try some new lighting technique or something or what before I implement it on an actual person. Sounds weird when I say it like that, but that's kind of how it's always been, and I still do it, and it still gets me work. And lately, I've actually been more focused on the toy photography though, because it's actually been doing more for me than actual most of my portrait work. Sometimes, while the portrait work still pays the bills, I'm getting more buzz from the toy stuff lately, and I've had a long career of photography though, so it's funny that I've had such a long career because I've had my highs in the portrait community in the photography world, where I was kind of a little bit more, I don't like to talk about it like this, but social media popular, where my work was kind of seen a lot. And now in the toy photography community, that's actually happening there, and I kind of prefer that area because it's more of my kind of people, I guess I would say. It's not so it's kind of like high school. It's like it's more my crew. That's the kind of people I feel like I'm more in line with, is the toy photographers. But yeah, that's kind of the long-winded answer to that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have seen other toy photographers and they're fantastic as well, but
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've never seen toy photography quite like yours. Like
Thank you.
when I first saw that cover of Kaiju Ramen issue 4, which has your work on it, my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get this on my wall. This looks amazing. So I'm
Thank you.
wondering, how did you develop your style? Was it inspired by anything or did it just happen on a whim?
Um, it's kind of developed over the last, how well, I've lost. I'm doing math in my head, and now I'm staring off into space because I can't do math. However long I've been taking photos, like 16 plus years now. It I've always kind of liked light and what light does and what light can do and shape things, and you could also distort reality with light, and make moods change, all sorts of things. You can control a lot with light by just turning a light bulb on and off. And then I also watched a lot of anime growing up, and a lot of like Godzilla movies and psychedelic movies like Godzilla versus Hedorah and stuff like that, and also Blade Runner, and movies that played with light a lot. And so I think eventually my photography gravitated towards the colorful, the vibrant, but also very contrasty, um, poppy kind of. It's its own thing. My work is its own kind of style. I think it's my graphic design and my photography kind of blended in together with my toy photography nowadays, where it's very surreal looking, but it's also kind of designed at the same time, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that very well. By design, I mean I'm putting the lights in a very specific spot and designing the light. But I found it by really, this is such a cheesy way of explaining it, but I think it'll make sense. If anybody knows Dragon Ball Z or really anime, when a character charges up and they're like, ah, and they have the energy around them, I wanted to figure out a way to get the energy to show up in the photography. And so by using things that cause lens flares or distort the image, say, like if I can do it here, and I don't know if it'll work. So just doing stuff like this, by putting a piece of glass in front of my lens, it makes the blur happen over here. You can kind of see that. And by playing with different camera settings and such and shutter speeds and all that, without getting too technical, I eventually found ways to make these kind of very surrealistic, but in camera, caught on in that moment image. And it's all in color too. So if it's a certain colored light bulb, it'll give me a certain color flare. But then if I have a certain color over here, that'll cause different things too to the glass. And it's kind of hard to explain because it all works really easily in my brain, but that's kind of just how it kind of has come together. It's just by experimenting and pulling from the inspirations that I have around me of media and music. Like I listen to a lot of music too, and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, light, color, and all that kind of stuff is really what inspires me. But the media that I watch too.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So you did kind of touch on this already with the anime thing and getting up their powers and going like,
it's very It was very much Dragon Ball Z. Like that was honestly the direct inspiration was Dragon Ball Z, and how colorful and still so colorful the series is, and other animes too. But I love Dragon Ball. Like that whole back shelf right there, you can see Goku's butt right there if you see him poking in his butt right now.
Nice.
Like that's a whole Dragon Ball shelf right there. So yeah, very much love that show. That's also a heavy hitter for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So my question is, when you're getting ready to do like a photo shoot with Godzilla toys and other stuff, like what's going through your head? Like I said, you already kind of touched on this already, but like what mood are you trying to set? Because I'm looking at some of your stuff here, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah, the website I haven't touched in a year. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so a lot of these, like a lot of the time I'm turning on lights to see what colors are going together really well. I'll have a figure already picked out if it's like a new figure I just got. Like I think I had just gotten that Mecha Godzilla, or I'd just gotten that Kong X Plus figure at the time. And I usually want to play with the new toy, so I'm photographing what my new toy is. But a lot of times I just play with color and see what fits right. And I also love neon colors, so it's always going to that vibrant thing. But then sometimes, like that Kong staring at the stars right there, that's directly inspired from Kong Skull Island, when he's sitting down and looking at the stars. I can't make him sit because the toy isn't articulated. That's just a statue. But I used my projector and just shot him looking at the stars on the projector, and it worked. So a lot of the times I might be directly inspired by maybe a scene in the movie or the way a scene was shot. But I also just sometimes want to take a portrait, as being a portrait photographer that I am, of the monsters. Because you can see these aren't monsters a lot of the time in scenes doing something. It's very much a portrait of them, because it's like a head and shoulders or waist up shot of them, not really interacting with anything most of the time. It's more of just about the monster. And I kind of like to show character with them too, and give them different moods, and show like, you can show King Kong versus Godzilla design a little bit more intense in a certain type of light than you don't normally see in the movie or something like that. And that's just the NECA figure right there with that kind of thing. So sometimes, like I said, it's just playing with the new toy and seeing what I get out of it. And then like I have a lot of new toys right now that I have to put my camera in front of, and I I don't even know what to do with any of them right now because I have too many to play with. And I've got a new TV I can play with too, and like I got all this. We'll just show the audience here without hopefully unplugging anything. Got all that shelf right there. A lot of that's just new stuff, and then there's a sleepy kitty, and a lot of new stuff up here, and like up there, like this guy's very new, the big boy. So I have stuff to shoot. I just gotta get it in front of the camera and then see what happens.
Wow, I should have you come over to my apartment and shoot some of my collections that I got over here, because I would love to see that.
I'm always down to come over and take pictures. Play with toys. Yeah, let's just go play with
Yes,
toys.
let's
That's what it
play with
is.
toys. Yes, who
It's a
says you
really,
can't?
it's a really good way to say I play with toys, and then show that I have results of it. So I'm not actually just sitting over here going, It's nothing like there's anything wrong with that, but
There's something wrong
you know,
with that.
I could call it a job. Look, mom, I made something for myself. All these toys, they do mean something. Anyways, it's a tax write-off. Come on, it's a tax write-off.
There you go.
Yeah.
Totally.
Anyways,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
gotta start making some videos with my figures so I can, use it as a tax write-off too.
there you go. You gotta figure it out. You gotta work the system. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
gotta work the system. Beat the man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a question from Leo. You kind of answered this already, but do you do only photography with toys or do you do other kinds of photography as well?
I do other kinds of photography. It's mainly of people. I wish I had perfect examples to show you right now, but if you went to my portrait website, you might have some nudity on there because I do fashionable art nudes, where it's very tasteful, but I don't want anybody to get any inappropriate images. So I'll just say yes, I do, and it's very beautiful portrait work. But I have photographed people like Mike Doherty, director of Godzilla King of the Monsters, for a magazine article that was about Halloween, the movie Halloween. I wonder, I don't know if I can actually send you this link and you might be able to look at them here, if you don't mind me staring at my screen blankly for a moment.
No problem.
Um,
You have the option to share your screen if I stop my screen here.
oh, okay. So, well, here, we'll pull this up and I think it works there. Okay. So then how do I do this?
Yeah, I should see a little button at the bottom of the screen that says share.
Ah, I see it. And then I will share screen and then hit the share.
Stand by, ladies and gentlemen.
And then it's StreamYard. Okay, I have to hit the allow button. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. Come on, don't fight with me.
Oh dear.
It's giving me the whole system preferences. You need to give it permission, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's like, come on, you guys.
Technology, gotta love it.
Patience is a virtue, everybody. Unless you're all seeing me on my screen right now and you're wording my passwords, which you shouldn't be doing. That'd be rude.
No.
No, I don't want to do this actually. So if I do that, it'll quit Firefox, and I don't want to do that. So if I just share you this link, you'll be able to
Okay,
do it
yeah,
on
let's
your
do that.
screen.
That'll be easier. There we go.
You're going to see some puppies as well, everybody. So get ready for some puppies.
Get ready for some puppies.
I just got to figure out how to share the thing. Oh, here we go. Create, share, and here's a copy link. Here it comes to Kim in her chat right now.
Okay.
This will be an exclusive for everybody.
All right. Let's see. Where did you send it at?
In the chat for Streamlabs. Maybe
the private chat. Here we go.
There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Patience, everybody. Thank you.
All right, we're making things happen. Stand
So
by.
here's
So
this will be an example of the not toy photography that's all crazy and colorful. This is more my standard work that I do the day job kind of stuff.
Yeah, stuff that pays the bills.
Yeah, this was with Mike and his new puppy that he had just got the day before for a magazine article that we did for a magazine for Halloween.
That's awesome.
His office is in the Halloween house. Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
So what's Mike like in person?
He's a really sweet guy. He's really sweet. We did this really quick. It was also like 100 degrees that day, so we didn't want to melt. So LA can get kind of hot sometimes, but yeah, just cute stuff like that. But
yeah.
So it's nothing crazy, nothing too colorful or anything like that, but it's very straightforward and to the point. But
Awesome.
yeah, that's going to be a lot of, they're going to pretty much look like the same image over and over again. So that's pretty much the straightforward of it right there. So that's kind of the other Mike's monsters, the Mike Monaghan of me, the professional photographer who does this every day of his life, which is great. And I love my job. And it's given me some incredible opportunities, like working with Mike, which is just a dream because Godzilla is one of my favorite things in the world, and getting to work with someone who made a Godzilla movie in any capacity is just one of the coolest experiences of my career. So that was just a fun little thing that I got to do. And there's been many more experiences because of my photography and where it's brought me in the world, and yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Ooh,
I'm
we
very
got
grateful and lucky.
Omni viewer. How's it going? He asks, ever done a photocomic, like using sequential images to tell a story?
I have. I actually did that back in college. I actually think that was an assignment that I had, or if it wasn't an assignment, that's how I executed it. I wish I could show you. It was actually a Godzilla destroying Seattle because we had our overpass being rebuilt or getting torn down or something like that, and you were able to go up there and see them do the damage and all that and actually walk around in it. They let people do that for some reason, and I took my little Godzilla. It was one of my tiny little Yuji Sakai Godzilla models, and I photographed it around the space, and I made it into a comic series for one of my assignments. I don't have the photos anywhere anymore, though. That's a good memory you just reminded me of, though. But yes, I have. But it's something I've thought about doing and making series of things to like tell stories of, though. I do try to have a little bit of a storytelling aspect to my image, though, that maybe the guy is doing something, but it's a portrait of the monster doing something, if that makes sense.
And Leo says, I think I found my future wedding photographer if I ever get married to begin with.
I'm a semi-retired wedding photographer. I actually used to do that. I've photographed over 150 weddings myself in my career. That's a lot of weddings. But if it doesn't, I'm not saying don't reach out. If you do get married, and I hope you do, because I hope everybody finds the love of their life and finds their happiness. I am happy to be the one to document that happiness. So please reach out. If I'm not too busy, or if budget works or anything like that, we will make it happen. We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try. But I
Yeah,
can't
don't
make
worry,
promises
Leo.
at the same time. We will try, but I can't say yes. Because life and my career is all over the place sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, you'll find someone, Leo. Don't worry.
Yes, you will. We believe. We are putting that energy out right now.
Yes, Leo will find the love of their life.
Yes.
All right. So, getting back to toy photography, I saw that you have some other nerdy stuff in your portfolio, like Star Wars and Dragon Ball and Alien and Predator and all that.
Yeah.
Are there any other franchises that you'd be interested in shooting?
Yeah. I'm gonna probably soon do a Princess Mononoke shoot, um,
Ooh.
which has it's probably going to be the little tree spirits, the Kodama, because my girlfriend got me a bunch of them for Christmas, and they're really cool, and I have a bunch now that I can photograph. So that's one. I want to do more Pokemon. I just haven't. I just have one Mewtwo photo that I've done. Um, I love Batman. Batman's also a really big one for me, and I have a really awesome figure that I photographed one time and only taken one photo of, so I need to take more than that. Spider-Man, I've got a really awesome new Spider-Man figure that I want to do some photos of. Um, it's really always Alien, Predator, and Godzilla. Those are my big ones, but I really try to expand out of those though. But the ones that I just listed off would probably be. I'm looking at my shelf right now, like okay. Oh, and Evangelion too. I've got some new Evangelion figures like that I really need to play with. So Monster Hunter, I love taking the photos of those figures too. I just need to do more of it. Just toys. anything
All
anything
kinds
I
of
can
toys.
get my hands on, really. Jurassic Park I maybe like to do more of. I just need the figures, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't really see Jurassic Park figures anymore.
They're making their comeback. If you go to Target right now, you'll see them most likely in a shelf. Like they've got like called the Amber Collection is what they are, and they've got all these new. I think they're just like new molds and everything. I have a Dr. Ian Malcolm over there that's laying like he does in the movie with his shirt off and
I
everything.
saw that on your website. I cracked up.
Yeah. Oh no, that's my pop figure. I have another figure from this new line that I've laid down to hold. And he's holding the flare in a probably not an appropriate way.
Oh my
So,
god.
so we'll keep that one off camera.
Yeah, this is a
But
family-friendly
yeah,
stream. Maybe
yeah,
keep that
but
over there.
yeah, yeah. You could. They're really articulated. That's my point. They can do a lot of cool poses, but they've gotten some really cool new Jurassic Park figures out there now. It's money, and I need to probably not spend money on the toys, and I don't have any room for any toys anymore. I've completely run out of space, I think. I say that, but I'll come home tomorrow with two. I have like Godzilla Ultima coming any day now with the figure arts. I've got, I think, the Mezco set's coming soon too, and there's more stuff coming. I just don't have room for it right now.
Yeah, I also
That's a
have a Godzilla
first
Ultima
world
coming.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have the same problem. Like, I don't know. I also have a Godzilla Ultima from SH Monster Arts coming, and I
Yeah.
have nowhere to put it. Where
Yeah,
am I
and
going to
I'm
put
very like people would like walk in here and be like, "You have so much room for it," but I'm very OCD about it and like organized, kind of like yours. I can see that yours is all spaced out really nice and everything. That's
Yeah.
how mine is. I'm like, "No, I'm out of room," and then you'd be like, "No, there's a lot of real estate you can work with," and I'd be like, "No, it breathes well. It's okay." So now I'm just gonna have to tear it all down and rearrange it to figure out how to make it breathe well again.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Oh, and cleaning these shelves. Yeah. My girlfriend didn't believe me until I did it one time with her, and she's like, "Yeah, I can see why you say it takes you all day to clean these things." And I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
why. That's why they can be dusty sometimes.
Yeah, I just deep cleaned my apartment last week. I just did that section the other day. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh boy, it's gonna
Yeah.
take some time.
Or if I just dust it, it's all of a sudden it's in the air, and I've got really sensitive allergies, and I just start sneezing, and it's like, I did this to myself.
Worth it.
Worth it. Worth it. But I need to get the dust off some way. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see some Power Rangers in your work.
I yeah, I think I might try to get some figures. I'm very specific on what I like a lot of the time, and they usually have to be like really like realistic looking. I don't always love the joints and everything, and
Yeah.
they have these new ones that are by 3 0, I think is the name of the brand, and they're about this big, and I think they're about $100 a figure. I just watched a review on one yesterday, and I was like, ooh, that's a lot of figures right there, but they looked really good, and I was thinking maybe getting a green ranger or maybe a white ranger, because yeah, I do like me some Power Rangers too. I don't have anything. I don't watch it frequently enough to that's probably why I don't have anything, but it's still, I grew up on it. I saw all the movies in theaters. I love it, and still, but it's just not one of those that but yeah, I've been thinking about it. I have been thinking about it. Yeah. Maybe a Dragonzord
I
fighting
was just gonna
Mechagodzilla or
say I
something like
gotta see
that.
some Dragonzord.
Yeah, Dragonzord fighting or Godzilla. I mean, come on. It's the
Oh.
possibilities are there. Ugh, I just gotta get the right figure. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I would love to see Dragonzord up against Mechagodzilla or
If
Godzilla.
anybody would like to donate a Dragonzord figure, I would send it back, but I
No,
would
just
photograph it
send it
for
to
you.
me so I can borrow it and
Yeah,
then
I'll borrow it. I will. I literally would send it back though. If you send it to me for photos, I would do it. I might have to keep it for a while on my shelf and like look at it and pretend it's mine and photograph it on my shelf, but then I will send it back after
okay.
I've photographed it a few times, maybe for like a year. Just kidding me. I'm kidding.
A year or two.
Mhm.
Real quick, just want to say hi to my buddy Matt from Monstrosities. How's it going?
Hey, Matt. How's
Hey,
it going, Matt?
thanks for
Good to
stopping
see you,
by.
dude.
All right, we got another question from Omni. How about the Universal
Oh yeah,
monster?
I
Ooh.
definitely want to. I would love to get some creature photos. The thing is, I got to photograph a lot of these actual Universal monsters. If you go on my Instagram, which is Mike's dot monsters, like Mike's period monsters, I posted a lot of photos from a place called Icons of Darkness that's in Hollywood. And so they are basically props and screen used things from the original movies of Alien, Predator, Jurassic Park, a lot of the Hollywood Universal monsters. And my point here is that I photographed the creature, Dracula, the bride, Frankenstein there, and I do have those photos coming. I just did it after Halloween, so I was kind of holding them on to Halloween, but I might post them earlier. But I would love to get some Universal Monster figures too, and I see that NECA's been doing some new ones, and I might get them for Halloween decorations, but then photo purposes too. But it'll probably be more next year on the Halloween, or this year, I guess, closer to Halloween if I do that.
Okay, that would be really cool
Yeah.
to see too,
Yeah.
actually.
It'd be fun to shoot them in black and white too, but then still use my cool lighting effects because I can do that. And all my effects usually work in black and white too, which is the fun part. So yeah, I can usually do some pretty cool stuff with that.
Awesome. So, can you share some more of your techniques and tricks for how you get your stuff to look the way it does?
Yeah, so one of the things I like to do, like I have this, you can get these on Amazon. They're just called prisms. This is what is it, 6 point, I think is what it is, prism. You can see that it does weird things. You can see me reflecting in here a few times. But when you put these things up to the camera, you can get pretty crazy like effects like that. I'm just right on the lens. I'm literally touching the lens with it. So, and if you can see, if I put it in certain spots, it'll do things like that. I will do it with this literal beer bottle I'm holding here. If you just put it up near the lens, you can see that it's giving me right there. It looks pretty cool. If the lens was able to do more settings, stuff like that, like change it like an actual camera, the shutter speed, the f-stop, and more, you'd be able to get more dramatic effects if you can blow the focus out of the background and stuff like that. A lot of it's just me putting things in front of the lens, or even just like if I take my cell phone here and maybe I just put it at the right spot, you can see the reflection of the ceiling in there.
Ooh.
This lens isn't the best example for it. It would be better if it was like an SLR camera, or something that you could actually change the settings on. But it's just simply experimenting like that and putting things up to the lens. But then I also like to put colorful lights in the room too. So like all these lights are all they're cycling through colors. If you've been watching, they're all changing. But then the light that I have up here, it can change colors too. It's a video light that can change from white to red to green to blue, all the cycle of the rainbow. And so just using different light sources can do that. And then doing those same things that I just showed you with the putting things up to the lens with those light sources can cause dramatically different effects too. So it's a wide range of things. It's hard to explain though, because it's just me looking at things and going, I wonder what that would do if I use this thing that I have. And then I try it and it does something. And it's like, well, I don't know if I'll ever be able to recreate that, but it looked cool. And I got this awesome photo from it. But like, I can get usually similar things, but I'm usually rarely ever be able to get the same exact effect on the same setting all that time. Because if I change the lighting and move something just slightly, it'll change the flare that I get. And a lot of these things are just flares, like a lens flare, because it's a light catching it and causing these flares. So like this would be a lens flare in a sense. So that right there. Yeah. So like right over my face, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Leo wants to know, how do you achieve the iridescent effect with some photos?
If you're meaning like the different colors and stuff like that, it's the lighting that I was just mentioning. So I can turn on one light to be over here. That's like, say, I'll turn it to be pink, and then this one over here, I'll turn it to be blue, and then if we really want to go with an iridescent color, maybe I have a green in there too, and all the lights meet in the middle, and you might get like a pink to a green to a blue, and it gets to be like glowy like that. And then by putting these effects things that in there, the pieces of glass or the kaleidoscope thing or the beer bottle, you can get those crazier glows and all that kind of stuff too sometimes. And sometimes I'll put those glows and position them on top of the subject, which makes it look like they're kind of that Dragon Ball Z power up I was talking about, which is maybe I'm guessing what that iridescent glowy look is. So like multiple colors lit up, and then yeah, I think that's that's the best way I think I know how to answer that. So I use 3 lights, sometimes pink, blue, green, or something like that, and then use my little lighting effects with the glass and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's very cool. And so, switching gears just a little bit, when we were talking privately on Twitter, you mentioned that you were getting ready to do a con. Talk about that a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. So I'm
I think you
trying my
actually
best not to.
tweeted about it.
Yeah, I just did. I tweeted about it a little bit ago. I'm trying my best to not panic because I've never done one of these before. But I've got a bunch of my stuff printed up, and I've got a table at the Pasadena Comic Con here in Southern California. I live in Los Angeles, so Pasadena's right next door. And yeah, I'll be there with about 20 prints, I think, maybe a little less, but I'm gonna have them printed up in like a standard normal print like you would see at a con, but then I'm gonna have them printed also on some other materials that I've been experimenting with, which I'm pretty excited about. So those are going to be the cool exclusive kind of things right now. And any remainder I have, I'm going to probably throw up on an Etsy, and I'll post about that after the convention. But yeah, it's my first con, and I don't know what to expect. Pretty much going in with no expectations, and just going to have fun and looking forward to meeting new people. And yeah, it's going to be a long day of talking about my work. I think that I'm hoping people will stop by, but if they don't, I hope they have a good time during the show. And I'm hoping it's going to be a good show because I don't know what to expect at all and how like the crowd is going to be at all. So yeah.
I'll make sure you stay safe and mask
I
up.
will. Yeah, no, I'm going to be very messed up. That's part of me is like, how is this going to go? Is everybody going to this? I does it, ooh, that's where I'm at with it. Even me, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of where I am, but I will be very, yeah, trust me. If anybody knows me in real life, they know that I'm going to be the one that's like,
Hazmat suit.
yeah, it's literally like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm a little. No, I'm known as the paranoid one, so yeah, I will be masked up for sure.
All right, but yeah, this sounds like fun. I can't be there because I am nowhere
Yeah,
near California.
right,
But
right.
but if anyone in the chat is in this area and you're free on January 23rd, be sure to check it out.
They are requiring all vaccinations and all that kind of stuff, so and all masking. So they say it's required, so it should be a safe event. I'm hoping it is because I don't want to be there if it's not.
Yeah, that
So
would not be
I
a good
booked it.
time.
I booked it hoping this whole thing was going to be done by now, but I didn't know. So, but I'm committing to it since this is my first one, and I don't want to yet. So, cancel yet. So we're going to do this, and I'm really excited about it, no matter how it plays out. So I'm just excited to start because I've wanted to try to do something like this for a while, and if I like it, I'm going to do more. So
Awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Fan freaking tastic. All right.
yeah.
So, last question for the evening. What advice do you have for anyone who's trying to get into toy photography or photography in general?
Yeah, get that question a lot. I get a lot of students asking me that question about my portrait photography, and a lot of the times I think they expect me to just say something that'll just give them the right answer right off the bat. But all I can say is shoot a lot of photos and fail a lot. Because if you don't fail, if you don't mess up, you won't learn and you won't get better from it. And you won't be able to make the best possible thing you can if you don't know that you're able to do better. Because if you think you're doing great at everything, you're just going to stay flat. So my thing is shoot a lot, learn from your mistakes. If you don't shoot a lot, you might get stale. And even if I don't take a lot of photos, it takes me a couple of photo shoots to warm back up and do a good flow where I feel like I'm creating good content again. I hate the word content, but creating good imagery again. So my advice would just be to like have fun with it for one. That's always the thing. Don't do it because you're trying to get popular or anything like that, or you're trying to get somewhere, or you're trying to use somebody for something. Do it because you love it, have fun with it, but also experiment and learn to fail and learn that failure is not a bad thing either. So you can grow from it and become, like I said, the best possible version of yourself, artist wise, or even a person. that rule kind of applies to more than just my photography aspect of it. I kind of try to think about that as like a whole life rule. Is if you can't fail at something, you're gonna never get better at it, kind of thing. So I'm always trying to experiment, and I never post. I post a lot of photos, but there's a lot of failed photos that I do not share ever. There's photos that I will go edit all the way through to the end and think that I'm gonna like it, and then I'll be like, nope, this one just didn't do it for me, and I spent hours on it, but threw it away because I knew it wasn't the right thing, and that's okay. It's learning to not beat yourself up over that kind of stuff too. So I also am preaching to the choir here too, so I'm saying this for myself.
Yeah, that's pretty solid advice for any field of work, really. Even with my field of work, video editing, YouTube making.
I'm doing my own YouTube channel, and I have to remind myself it doesn't need to be perfect. Just put it out there. Don't be Spielberg, even though you like him. Yeah. But
Spielberg wasn't built in a day.
No, he had to make Jaws and failed a whole lot on that movie, and then look how well it turned out. Like, it's not always cupcakes and everything like that. You got to blood, sweat, and tears through it sometimes, but then know that that's going to lead you to a positive, better version of yourself in the long run, and your craft and yourself and everything.
Yep, exactly. And like Leo says, just keep taking photos and experimenting, have fun with it, and don't treat it like a chore. Again, solid advice for anything. Yeah.
Don't let it burn yourself out. Don't, because I've been there. I've been doing this my whole career. Has been my photography, and there have been points where I've had to get jobs outside of photography because I was burnt out and I couldn't do it anymore. And then I realized, oh crap, I made a mistake. I got to get back into photography. But it's usually I got to take it easy sometimes and not like overdo it, and don't force it if it's not feeling right. And communicate that with people if you're working with other people too. And yeah, but don't force it, and just make sure, like we said, just have fun. We're playing with toys.
Yes, play with your
should
toys.
Be fun. Toys should be fun.
Yes.
Godzilla's fun. Godzilla movies should be fun, except for there's some dark stuff. But yes, it's fun. We know there's both sides of it. Anyways.
Yes. All right. So before we head out tonight, do you want to tell everyone where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I say everything right. I'm on Mike's Monsters on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Kim had my website up earlier, but it'll be Mike's.monsters on Instagram. So Mike's.monsters. On Twitter, it's Mike's_monsters. I think if you just search youtube.com/Mike's Monsters, that should be me on YouTube, or if you just search Mike's Monsters. And then it's Mike's Monsters Toys, or Mike'sMonsterToys.com for my website that I haven't touched in a year and a half. So maybe I'll update that in the next few days if I have the time before this convention. But yeah, so my social handles all lead to each other too. So you click on one, you should be able to find all the others too.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mike, so much for coming onto my show. I had a blast talking to you. And
good.
Again, I really, really love your work. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep happening. Sorry, guys, if you don't like it.
Like, oh, darn.
Why are you watching this if you don't? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And to you watching at home, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me and my fantastic guest. Don't forget to check out my TeePublic store. Link is down below in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Like this stream if you had a good time here tonight. And normally I would say come back next Sunday for another edition of Chill with Kaiju Kim, but I will be out of town next weekend, so sadly I will not be streaming next Sunday. I will, however, try to make time for another Godzilla Mad Lib stream sometime during the week, most likely on Thursday, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.